Live. Okay, here we go. So today's date 2/10/2020, and our objective day is solving absolute value inequalities. Inequalities. And they come in the form of ax plus b to some number, or greater than or equal to, okay? So solving absolute value inequalities. Okay, so before we start, and I'll let you guys catch up, we're going to need, please write this down, 2 answers, 2 equations. 2 answers, 2 equations, because there's always a positive answer and a negative answer with absolute values, because both will work. If you put a negative in and take the absolute value of it, it comes out positive. So the negative and the positive can give you the same answer. That's why there's 2 answers, okay? So if I take a look at example 1, before I do anything, I'm going to write 2 equations. I'm going to write just simply y plus 2 is less than 8, and I'm going to write y plus 2 is greater than negative 8. So I'm going to highlight both of those so you see it. Okay, so I did 2 things with the second equation. I made it negative, but because I made it negative, I turned the sign, right? We know that. So then solving is pretty easy. I'm just going to go minus 2, minus 2. One of my answers is y is less than 6, minus 2, minus 2. My other answer is y is greater than negative 10. Okay? Well, I'm going to put those on my number line. I'll put negative 2 here. 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll put 8 here. Wow, there's even enough room. What do you know? If I read this carefully, actually, negative 10 isn't going to work. 6 and negative 10. Oh, I'm way off, aren't I? How about negative 10? And how about, we'll just call this 6. We're just going to call it 6, because there's a whole bunch of numbers in between, right? Just like Rye said, remember how Rye did the warm-up? And she said all those numbers in between. It's Monday, huh? So I know I'm going to have an open circle at 6, right? Open circle at 6. Open circle at negative 10. Open circle because there's no little equal sign here or here. So if I read this carefully, it says y is less than 6, which is this way. But x is greater than negative 10, which is this way. If I write the answer as a compound inequality, which is I would really like you guys to write like this. Negative 10 is less than y, which is less than 6. That's the answer I really like the best, is as a compound inequality. Okay? All right, that was a pretty simple one. Let's do number 2, a little bit more challenging. Okay, so again, 2 equations. First equation is q divided by 3 is greater than 2. And we're going to go q divided by 3 is less than negative 2. Again, I did 2 things. To the second equation, I made it negative, so I had to turn the inequality sign. Right? I did 2 things. So when I solved it, I needed to make it negative, so I had to turn the inequality sign. Okay, now I'm going to solve. I'm going to undo it, and the opposite of divide by 3. The opposite of divide by 3 is just to multiply by 3, multiply by 3. My 3's cancel, right? Multiply by 3, and I get an answer of q is greater than 6. And the same thing here. I'll multiply by 3, and I'll have q is less than negative 6. All right, let's put 6 here, negative 6, and 6, and 0's in between somewhere, right? I'm going to have an open circle at negative 6 and 6. Open circle, open circle. Oh, I'm going to use another color. One's easier to see. Open circle. And this says greater than 6, which is this direction. And this says less than negative 6, which is all of these values. Okay, so this is an OR statement. Definitely an OR statement. This is an OR statement. So I'm going to rewrite it as a compound inequality where I'll go -6 greater than Q, which is greater than 6. Okay, that's the answer I like the best. Okay, as an compound inequality. And if I read it backwards, it really does say Q is less than -6, Q is greater than 6. Okay. All right. Now, number 3 looks kind of complicated, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of all of these extra numbers first. So I'm going to subtract 10 first, get rid of it, and then I'll divide by 3, because these are all the numbers on the outside. So we're just going to get rid of all those numbers and tidy up, okay? So the first thing I'll do is I'll just subtract my 10. I'll go, okay, -10, -10, and then I get a 3 times the absolute value of a 2a plus 5 is less than or equal to 27, okay? And then I'm going to get rid of 3. So get rid of all the numbers on the outside first. I'll divide by 3. That'll cancel it, and I'll divide by 3 here. So what I get is the absolute value of a 2a plus 5 is less than or equal to 9. Okay, now I have it down as an absolute value less than something. So let's go ahead and do our two equations. First equation is my 2x plus 5 is less than or equal to 9. And my other equation is my 2x plus 5 is, thank you. It is a 2a, not x. 2a plus 5 is greater than or equal to -9. Okay, so again, I did two things. I changed it to a negative, which meant I had to change the sign. Okay, now I'm just going to solve, right? First equation. Am I going too fast? Am I okay? I'll slow down for a second, let you catch up, okay? So now I'm going to solve -5, -5. 2a is less than or equal to 4. Divide by 2, and I've got squeezed it in here. A is less than or equal to 2. On the second equation, we'll go subtract 5, -9 minus 5 is a -14. So I've got a 2a is greater than or equal to a -14. Divide by 2, and I've got an a is greater than or equal to -7. Okay. Probably should have left more room or written smaller, huh? So I'm going to have an open circle at 2 and an open circle at -7. So I'll put -7 maybe. Whoops. Up here, -7 here. Yeah, I've got white out. And I'll put my 2 up here. I'll have an closed circle on both. Closed circle. This says a is less than 2, that's that way, and a is greater than or equal to -7. Less than 2 is this direction, greater than -7 is this direction, and the 2 meet in between. It is an AND statement. Okay, not too bad?
Not too bad.
All right, let's look at 4. 4 is pretty easy. 4 is really easy. Why don't you guys try 4 on your own real quick? Okay, you guys try 4 on your own. You can do 4. Try 4 without me. Everybody, try 4 without me. Okay, everybody, try 4, boys. Okay, try 4. Everybody, try 4 without me. You can do 4. Okay, try 4 without me. I know you can do it. 4 is pretty easy.
I don't think I can.
On this one? What if this one be going inside? Because if anything less than -6.
Less than -6 goes that way, but then it's greater than 6, which goes that way. See that one? Greater than
Oh, okay.
6. No, that's a good question. I want you to ask. Less than -6.
Oh, yeah,
goes that way.
that's good.
No,
Okay.
those are good questions. Okay. +3. Y is less than or equal to 7. Here, +3. Y is greater than or equal to -1. Okay, how am I doing? Trying to go.
That's all I got.
Is that what you got? Good. Good, okay. Hopefully everybody has that answer. -1, 7. Less than or equal to 7, closed circle. Greater than or equal to -1, closed circle, and everything in between. Okay, give me a thumbs up if you got that answer. I want to see it. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Did you get that answer? Thumbs up. Okay, good. Okay, you guys ready to turn the page? Not too bad? Okay, all right. Now, I don't think we need to do all of these. You guys agree? Let's do 7, and let's do 8 and 9. Okay, those are the hard ones, all right? Let's do 7, 8, and 9. Okay, I think 7's got one little trick, but not too bad.
We have to do them on our own.
So let's try and do 7 on your own, okay? Try and do 7 on your own.
There's no way.
Okay. So,
Wait, so now it goes. How did you get 8, bro? It's -8. Where?
I mean, that is not my final answer, but
Oh, I'm not even at that part yet.
okay, you guys.
Are you retarded?
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Something's not right.
Flip the sign. You didn't flip the switch.
I got the same as you.
Hold on, I didn't flip the switch, but it's still, something's not right. Okay. So I got less than 36, less than 20, huh?
I didn't get that.
I thought you were supposed to time
I got less than -15.
I got -1.
I got -5.
Yeah.
I got
Actually,
-2.
the truth of this problem is, anybody see it? It's a trick question.
I got -1.
Oh, it's no solution.
Yes, why? Yes.
I don't know. I just
Right,
Now,
yes.
tell you this, it is no solution. Can somebody tell me why it's no solution?
Because
Ada.
It's less than 0.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. How can you put something in?
Wait, what are you doing?
on number 7?
I'm not doing the right problem.
Okay, number 7. Whatever goes in comes out what?
Positive.
Okay, give me any number, any positive number.
Oh
Ada.
my goodness.
7.
Is 8 going to be less than -2?
Yes.
No.
No. 24. What?
No matter what number I pick, it'll never work. It'll never work. Give me another positive
what did you
number.
pick?
24.
24. Is 24 less than -2?
No.
Give me another positive number.
-6.
-6. Absolute value -6 comes out
.1.
6.
0.1.
0.1, right? Doesn't
Oh,
matter.
God.
This one is not. This is a trick question. There is no solution.
No, it's so loose.
So is it no solution? I'm not even stuck on that one.
Okay. Now let's look at 6. Now let's look at 6. So look at 6.
That'd be no solution.
We're not doing it.
So we'll look at 6 real quickly. So anything that comes out is always what? Is any positive number going to be greater than -4?
Yes.
Always.
Multiple solutions.
Infinite many.
Infinite many. No matter what number you put in, it will always be bigger than -4. Infinite many, okay? So 2 trick questions we've got to be careful of. So let's take a look at that, okay? All right, so I'm going to make a little note, and I'm going to put it in my interactive notebook, okay? So real quick, I'm going to take my interactive notebook. I'm going to write myself a little note, okay? Absolute value of AX plus b greater than a negative number. Okay? This will always work. Absolute value of any number. No matter what I put, it comes out positive, right? It comes out positive. Always comes out positive. And I know these are tricky, these are weird, but so when you get negative numbers, let's highlight these negative numbers, right? So you get negative numbers, you know it's going to be a trick question. So if it comes out positive, you know if it comes out positive, that'll always be greater than a negative number, won't it? Right?
Yes.
So it's infinitely many solutions. You can. In fact, there's a better symbol I like better. This cursive R means all real numbers, which means every number you can think of, right? Now, if you have absolute value of ax plus b is less than a negative number, it's impossible. What you get is a positive number. I get a positive number less than a negative number. It doesn't work that way. Positive numbers are always bigger, aren't they? So, right off the bat, I'm going to put no solution. And I like, there's a symbol. This symbol means the same thing as no solution, okay? Math has symbols. Symbols are nice because then you don't have to write it out, right? Okay, now let's take a look. Let's go back to what I was doing, okay? So right at the bat, and I'm going to highlight this. Check it out. Right here, I knew I was going to have a problem. And right here, I knew I was going to have a problem, right? Okay? And right here, I think I'm going to have a problem also on 9. So I'm going to have a problem here because it's got a negative. I'm going to have a problem here because of negative. Now, why do I say on 9? Yeah, so I like that. So if I go minus 14, right? 6, 3k is greater than 0. You guys agree with 0?
Yes.
That makes sense. Divide by 6, divide by 6. Okay. So I might have a problem here because of 0. But let's try it, okay? So, what do? I'm going to go 3 minus k is greater than 0. Or I'm going to go 3 minus k is less than negative 0. Well,
There is no such thing as negative 0.
right, it's just 0. I agree with you, Will. Totally. Will's right. 0 is just 0. You guys okay with that? Well, let's check it out. Minus 3, negative 1k, I'm going to put the 1 there, is greater than negative 3. Okay? So these tricky ones, we got to think. We've got to use our brains. So we're going to divide by negative 1, and I get, I'm running out of room, but I'll put k is, I'm going to turn the sign. I'm going to turn the sign because I divided by a negative. So we'll have k is less than 3. Okay, on this one I go minus 3. I'll have a negative k. Well, it's the same answer, isn't it? Think it'll be the same answer? Yeah. So k is less than 3. Oh, it might not be because we're going to switch the sign. Less than negative 3. I'm going to divide by a negative. So what am I going to do? K is greater than 3. So k is either going to be greater than 3 It's either going to be greater than 3 or it's going to be less than 3. What's the only thing it can't be? 3. That's it. Aren't those kind of weird? So we got to be careful on these, right? So before you